The outside car swung along down Dorset Street, where Sean had foreseen the peep of day, past George's Church, in the pocket of which had lived the Dalton family, with whom he had trod as a youngster, the stage of the old Mechanics' Theatre, now known the world over as the Abbey. Down Cavendish Row, where the dispensary had been from which the gentle Dr. Ulton had come to cure Sean of a fever. Down Sackville O'Connell Street, getting a glimpse of the post office, where Padraig Pearse had sounded the horn that roused Ireland out of her sleeping. In this very street, on top of a horse-drawn tram, when a little boy stood safe beside his mother, was swept into the galaxy of illuminations that was lit to honour an English queen. And years after that, was almost suffocated in this very street by escaping the surging crowds that were escaping the batons of the police. In this very street. The car turned down Abbey Street and swung into Beresford Place, trotting past Liberty Hall, once the sweltering, weltering place, University of the Dublin Workers, now a dead tomb held by an enemy with Ichabod written all over it. For Larkin had gone, and its glory had departed. Down Tara Street, surely the grabbest and dirtiest street in Dublin, looking as desolate as Tara itself, wheeling into Brundrick Street, passing the Queen's Theatre, where Sean had seen his first play, The Shockron, past the ancient concert rooms, where the National Theatre performed some of its early plays, before it had a habitation or even a name. It was this street that had been Sean's Via Dolorosa, through which he had passed 3 times a week, year after year, for 15 or more of them, first with his mother, and then on his own, to seek ease for his aching eyeballs. Ah, Westland Row Station, the last spot in Dublin that would feel his footfall. It was from this sad sight that the coffin holding Parnell came slowly out, borne by strenuous, tearful men, hesitating even to part with the dead body of their persecuted chieftain. God Almighty. The life he was living now had almost been all spun out of what he had felt, had seen, had touched in these few Dublin streets. He was on the deck of the mailboat, feeling her sway and shyly trod beneath his feet, watching the landing stage drift, getting his last glimpse of Erin, separated from her for the first time, never likely to stand settled on her soil again. It was bitterly cold, with a fierce keen wind blowing, and soon it was sending a sharp, sleety hail in salty spray into his face, stinging us deeply. Ireland, spitting a last venomous, contemptuous farewell to him. Well, everything of any value he was carrying away with him. The moral courage and critical faculties of his father, and his love of good books, the gay humour and dogged resolution of his mother, and her love for and understanding of the bright colours among dead, drab things. The remembrance of a warm clasp from the Reverend Mr. Griffith's white, firm, delicately shaped hands. The love of his comrade workers, Catholic and Protestant, from which he had fought and starved and fought again. All fair things he had learned during his sojourn with the Gaelic League. The affection and goodwill of Lady Gregory. The reluctant Godspeed of Dr. Cummins. A fond recollection of his brother Tom. Pity for his sister Bella. And a little less of it for Mick. And above all, a strict and determined confidence in himself. Jewels he could never sell. Jewels that no thief, no matter how cute, could take out of his hands. Sail on, thou fearless bark. Wherever blows the welcome wind, it cannot lead to scenes more dark, more sad than those we leave behind. The ship turned giddily to right, to left, plunged with upturned bows and dipping them as quick, for there was more than a half gale blowing. Sean had been anxious about his seasickness, but he felt no discomfort. He was a good sailor, and he faced resolutely towards where the ship was going. Sweet Inish Fallon, fare thee well, forever.